to make, it's never done this before.
What are you trying to do?
Just to have them on two separate things so I can read my notes differently.
Go arrange it.
Yeah, go to arrange. Turn off arrange. Same problem he's struggling with.
Oh, is that what's going on? Sorry, my screen's broken, so I only have like half the screen state I normally do. All right, hey guys, let's talk about guns. So the face of firearms ownership in America is changing, and it's been changing for a while now. We're at a pretty interesting junction in our history where women, millennials, minorities, and members of the LGBT community are starting to see firearms ownership as a symbol, as a means of demanding and exercising their rights as equal citizens and participants in our society. The problem is that while traditional firearms manufacturers, marketers, and distributors are making token efforts to reach out to these growing markets, these efforts are, by and large, falling flat. A lot of us didn't get to grow up around guns. A lot of us didn't have a dad or grandpa who had the time to teach us about gun safety or technique, how to take your first buck. And yet, in the absence of guided instruction, many of us have taught ourselves how to change a tire, code a website, cook a decent meal for two. Do-it-yourself defense is a gamified online learning platform for training users in defense of firearms use. We know that it can be intimidating when you don't even know what you don't know. It doesn't have to be that way. Oh, shit, no. There we go. Do-it-yourself defense is a gamified online learning platform for training users in defense of firearms use. We know it can be intimidating when you don't even know what you don't know. It doesn't have to be that way. At DIY Defense, we will help Americans of all walks of life learn how to purchase, use, and train with firearms. We gamify the learning process by employing training drills that users can practice from the convenience of their home, helping them save precious time and money by spending range days practicing only those skills that can't be worked on at home. Users and corporate sponsors can create and upload their own drills or host their own online shooting competitions. DIY Defense's companion smartphone app includes a built-in shot timer and target monitor that help coach the user between repetitions of drills and suggest improvements in new sequences of training modules by observing the user's performance and identifying their deficiencies. Look, here's the thing. When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. But for better or worse, guns are the great equalizer. Say what you will about gun control, but if guns are going to be around and be a part of life in America regardless, and let's put them in the right hands. Because everybody has the right to feel safe. And at DIY Defense, we want to make that happen.
Cool. 2 minutes, 23 seconds.
Oh, shit, I was worried about
Flew right through.
that. Yeah.
I strongly encourage you don't wing the first few words of your pitch. Is in your script, do you start out with, let's talk about guns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, well, you didn't wing it, that's good. And I would encourage you, so you've got a very polarizing topic here.
Yes.
I would encourage you to, it's important to own it, which you do throughout the presentation, which is powerful. And you're going to have to invite skeptics along for the ride. Because there will be a few people who will tune out unless you invite them not to. And we can think about the nuanced way to do that, but just know that I think the beginning of your pitch is going to have to do that. Actually, how you ended the pitch, I think, is much stronger than how you started it. So I would move how you ended it to the very beginning, and then come up with a different ending.
So that way I'll still have a strong stand, but I can still invite the skeptics into the conversation.
Yeah, because I think if you take a stand, which I liked how you took the stand at the end better than the stand at the beginning. So for me, I like the ending better than the beginning, so I would start with the ending and then figure out a different ending.
Got it.
Move the ending to the beginning and figure out a different ending. I would encourage you to put more slides behind what you're describing.
Right.
So that you have words there that set up the problem, but I don't see it, and I really can't connect to it.
Right.
So the biggest thing for me was I had a really hard time connecting with who you're helping and how you help them. The demo, as you got into the few demo slides that you have, helped. Like, oh, I get it, I see what they're doing. Because this isn't my world, like I know
Right.
nothing of this world. For me, being invited in a richer way to help me understand the problem, to understand what it feels like to need your solution.
Yeah.
Like, I can't feel that in the current pitch.
Right.
So I really encourage you to help me feel that.
Yeah, I spoke to somebody the other day. I told her about my idea, and she was talking about, she's an older woman. She was talking about how when she lived in Texas, her sister actually went through something similar, ended up like getting taught, like their other sister taught her how to use a shotgun and this and that. And I thought that was an interesting analogy.
Mhm.
So maybe like that kind of is like a use case, or maybe like a, something like that might be.
And I would enumerate too, some people are interested in this because of protection, some are people into
Right.
this just because it's sport, some people are interested in the technical side of this. Like, because I think especially in Boulder, you're gonna run into a stereotype here that's pretty strong.
Right.
And helping break through that stereotype quickly, I think is important. Like if you're
Okay.
doing this pitch in East Texas, you're all good.
Yeah.
But you're doing this pitch in Boulder, you gotta know your audience.
And I'm saying the face of firearms ownership is changing, but I don't really show that. So
Right.
okay.
I
got
can't feel it, I
Yeah.
can't connect to it. It's all very academic.
Got it. Got it.
Which is ironic saying that in class, but help me really connect with it.
I mean, you mentioned LGBT and other vulnerable populations,
Mhm.
and I think that's part of that. I
So
didn't know
maybe-
how that they would be drawn into this.
Right, right.
Because I guess they're feeling they need protection, and so if you could somehow bring in examples or something.
Oh, so I guess I didn't make that connection too clear. So
Invite in some of your early adopters.
Got
Do you
it.
have any yet?
I have a couple who are like interested in like being like models and stuff for like the actual, like, but maybe they might like, I don't know.
So to the extent possible, you can bring in your early community.
Right.
So that I can feel it, like this feels like pure conjecture.
Right.
Which I know you pivoted recently, you haven't had much runtime, I totally get it.
You want people, I can get you people.
So you replace the conjecture with fake it until you make it?
Yeah.
But make it feel real.
Okay.
So I can, because again, the big thing is I gotta be able to connect with them.
Okay, I can get real people.
Cool.
That's good. That's
Awesome.
good. Awesome feedback. Oh, sorry.
I had a question for Zach. Why should he even capitulate to people who don't like guns? Maybe you should just polarize and say guns are cool. You don't like guns, and don't come to my website or something.
So the way you can do it, I believe strongly in owning it. Owning it with a reframe is really powerful. So you don't necessarily have to capitulate, but you can reframe it and say, you can play on the stereotype and say that's not how this community sees this. This community sees it totally differently. And I want to reveal an insight into this world that you don't have.
I feel like that's true as long as it's not political. I feel like guns, I accept that there are other communities that like guns, just for this example, as long as it's not political in that particular community.
Right.
And
so,
that's- sorry,
So
like,
this is like
yeah.
a suspension of disbelief issue.
Okay.
Like you just have to keep their mind open for 4 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
I
And-
think the way I'm trying to do that is like trying to transcend all the political stuff and talk about the other things that are like the whole vitamin respirator thing, like, right? Like, and talk about this is like a respirator type issue for these populations that transcends political type, like, and that, I guess that's kind of the connection I'm trying to make.
Sure.
So maybe I should make that a little more explicit.
My advice too is a little bit colored because it feels like you're a little behind again because you
Yeah.
just pivoted recently. So for a company, and this kind of gets above your questions, if I didn't feel like the team was behind and they could play around with owning it and polarizing it, but the problem, like polarizing is awesome, but you have to try it a few times to figure out if it works. Like it's a subtle play to pull it off well. I mean, it sounds totally counterintuitive, like to totally polarize a room is, you would think, really easy, but to do it well is actually really hard.
So if I were actually, and I wanted to start a gun company, would I start it in Boulder, or would I just start in Texas? Like, out of curiosity, if I wanted to start a gun company, like, would you just
Well-
accept defeat, so to speak?
No, I think it's who you're trying to serve. So his population does not live, I don't know why I'm picking on East Texas, but your population doesn't live in East Texas, right? Your population lives in Boulder and large cities. So playing to that, again, you got to play to your market and bring your market into the pitch. So anyway, we got to get on the next one. Is that helpful?
Very helpful.
Okay.